Today we're going to be answering a question: are Blogger.blogspot blogs still effective in 2019? For anybody who's not familiar with Google Blogger, Google Blogger is a platform that's been around for ages. It was probably, at least to my knowledge, one of the first, kind of like easy drag and drop kind of website builders or blogs that like really anybody out there could start working with. I'm not really sure the year that Google Blogger kind of rolled out or whatever. I think I started messing around with it back in like 2010 or 2012. Blogger's always kind of had a soft spot in my heart. It was the first platform that I ever started a blog on. It was the first platform that I started as an affiliate marketer on. And oddly enough, even though it's not intended by any means to be an e-commerce website, my first e-commerce website ever, I mean, this is kind of before, like, Shopify's been around for quite some time, but like Shopify and Wix and Squarespace and all this stuff, they either weren't around or they weren't nearly as popular or as advanced as they are today back when I started. So like my first e-commerce site ever, because I didn't know any better, was a Google Blogger website, and I used kind of the standard 3-column design, and I kind of had my About Us page and shipping terms and everything like as a blog post down the center, and then my products were on the left and right sidebar, and I just pasted in PayPal HTML code to make buttons on the side. And that was my first e-commerce website ever. So, but Blogger's got kind of a soft spot in my heart because it was one of the first platforms that I ever messed with. I really like how simple it is to use. Now, I think that's actually one of the great things about it. One of the things that I see a lot of people with Squarespace or Wix or especially Shopify doing, because it's easy to download so many, and WordPress too, because it's so easy to download plugins and there's so, all these amazing plugins out there. Somebody opens up a new Shopify store and they go download 50 plugins, and half the stuff they don't need. It's slowing down their site. It's kind of adding clutter to the website. So I kind of like the simplicity of Blogger. I remember way back when I started messing around with Blogger at first, like every little thing I wanted to do, from like making a header to trying to get my blog to show up differently, like the meta titles to show up differently in search, to every little thing I needed to do, I would go to like Warrior Forum or Black Hat Forum and find some article on how to do it. And I kind of learned a little bit of basic code that way, just because you'd read somebody's tutorial on how to do something, and you'd have to go into kind of the code of the template of Blogger and kind of adjust something. So this is kind of how I got my start in kind of doing things online. And I made a couple Blogger YouTube videos and even I think blog posts like way back in 2010, 2012, 2013. And I noticed to this day they still tend to get a decent number of views. So it seems like there's still some interest out there for it. I think some people just getting started with like building websites and affiliate marketing and blogging who are looking for like a simple and cheap way to get started are finding Blogger. And I think you also find people who've been messing around with, affiliate marketing and doing things online and e-commerce for a number of years who are like returning to Blogger, if as nothing else, as kind of a test platform to kind of test out a new idea and see if it's worth actually like buying a domain and setting up a WordPress site and buying a theme and everything else. One of the things I really like about Blogger is Blogger's free to use. It's, with any platform, it's always good to have your own custom domain. So if you don't buy a domain, like the Blogger website that I'm going to kind of show you guys as an example is a storage auction website that I started years ago. I used to be into storage auctions. I used to buy storage auctions. I used to kind of put out content on like how to pick good units and how to sell your merchandise and what stuff you want to buy. And I'd also post lists of auctions in all 50 states and things like that. So later in this video, I will kind of take you guys kind of a walkthrough of like the platform, and I'll show you kind of what this one looks kind of crappy. I've gotten a little bit more advanced, and I can actually make a Blogger site look pretty much as good as like a WordPress or a Squarespace or a Wix site, and it's pretty easy to do. But one of the things I like about Blogger is it's free. Like I said, there's not a million plugins and things, so it's much more simple. It kind of forces you to focus on quality content and not go overboard with like trying to get everything visually perfect and all these, plugins and apps and tools and everything else. But you can start a Blogger blog for free. If you want to buy a custom domain, which I would recommend doing, you can normally find a sale like 99-cent domain on Namecheap or GoDaddy, and just connect it to your Blogger blog. Really simple to do. And I just like Blogger. It's really easy to get going. It's part of your Google account. So if you have a Google account and you go to blogger.com, you're already in your blog. And one of the things I've always said, and I will talk about some of the kind of the criticisms of Blogger, but one of the things that I'm a big believer in is the best tool for the job is the one that you're most comfortable with and the one that you're actually going to use. And I can't tell you how many people I talk to, come across, know, read their posts, who they go to set up a WordPress site and they're so overwhelmed by the platform that they just never get started, right? They can never get it laid out how they want. They're just not comfortable with it, so they don't log in and post very often. And that's one of the things, I wish I would have made the transition over to WordPress a lot, like years and years and years ago, because I did get kind of too comfortable with Blogger. But Blogger was great in that, I was comfortable with it, it's easy to use, and I would use it a lot. I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. One of the things I wanted to talk about before we get too far into this is, so I started a new project on Blogger back on July 17th. Today is August 12th, so it hasn't even been a month. We're a little bit over 3 weeks. We're averaging about, say, 100 page views a day. Yesterday was a slow day. Yesterday was Sunday. We only had 34. But we're averaging about 100 page views per day at this point. Page views to date is 1,484. And just so you guys can see, like, I'm not buying any traffic or anything like that. Like, pretty much all the traffic's coming from Google. I did set up a Reddit account to kind of go along with this this niche and this Blogger blog. But, I mean, it's got, like, 2 subscribers to it. So I'm not getting a lot of traffic from it, but there's a little bit of traffic there. But, this is all organic traffic from Google for the most part. Actually, it's pretty much all organic traffic from Google. I haven't really been doing much on social media outside of creating the subreddit. And you can see it's all U.S. traffic. I got a few people from France, a few people from Poland, Germany. But this is pretty much like all U.S. traffic. So, I'm not buying traffic. I'm not getting a bunch of like Indian or Chinese traffic. And like I said, this is like less than a month old. And you'll see people who've got a blog going for, a year and they only have 30 visitors to their blog. So I think we're off to a pretty good start. I think this is a pretty good niche. I'm a huge fan of Blogger. If anybody's on the fence about starting a blog or even just wants to kind of vet an idea or play around with something and see if you can drive any traffic, I'd highly recommend Blogger. I think it's an awesome platform, and I'll let you guys have kind of a look at the back end in just a few minutes here. Some of the criticisms of Blogger, so SEO-wise, some people will say it's not as good for SEO. I kind of disagree with that. Like, yeah, you're not going to be able to get like a Yoast plugin, and it's probably going to be a little bit harder to do like structured data and things like that. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, you can rank a Blogger blog just fine. I am doing somewhat of an uncompetitive niche, or at least the way I'm coming at the niche is tackling it in a way that there's not a ton of competition. And I'm kind of doing like product blogs and things like that. And I'm jumping on new products right after their release. So I'm one of the first people out there to kind of write about these subject matters. But within a matter of 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, I am able to get the first. I don't know if I've landed a first spot on Google yet, but I have gotten page 1 second result on Google, page 1 third result on Google. I would say hitting page 1 or top of page 2 is like pretty typical for most of the posts I'm putting up, and they're actually staying up there pretty good. Like if a really authoritative blog comes and writes about the same thing that I did, yeah, I'll get knocked down a few pegs. But for a blog that's only a couple weeks old, doesn't really have a lot of backlinks, and is Blogger and not WordPress or some other platform, I'm pretty impressed with how it's done so far. But a couple more negatives. One thing a lot of people will tell you is you don't own your blog, you don't own your platform. And what they mean by that is, like, if I own my domain and I use WordPress, which is like open source, nobody in the world can shut down my blog. I mean, I suppose if I'm like writing some like hateful blog or something like that, my domain provider could tear it down. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, nobody's going to take down my blog as long as I'm not doing anything illegal. With Blogger, however, it's like a social media platform. It's like Amazon. It's like Amazon merch. It's like Instagram, whatever. If you post something that Google doesn't like, if Google thinks your blog is spammy, a number of things can happen because you don't own and control everything. Your blog hypothetically could be taken down. I've started probably upwards of, 50 to 75 Blogger blogs. I think I've only ever had one taken down, and it was like some spam blog about like mesothelioma or car insurance. This was in my early days when I used to see those lists of like the 50 highest paying keywords, and like, if somebody clicks on a mesothelioma or car insurance or, life insurance AdSense ad, you get like $150 or $50. So early on, I tried tackling a couple of those niches. I would highly recommend that you don't do that. It just doesn't work out. You're never going to rank, and it's going to be boring as hell to blog or create content about those subject matters. But, I created one blog where it was like all copied content, ads all over the place. Like, it was a super spammy blog, and I did have one taken down, but that's like one out of like 50 or 75 blogs. So I don't think that's a huge concern, although I do always like kind of controlling as much as I can. But honestly, for anybody running on a Shopify website, if you have a Shopify website, you don't own or control your site. Like, yeah, you own a domain, but if Shopify wants to pull your site down, they can completely do that. So I would say Blogger is not a lot different than Shopify in that sense, and you don't really see anybody worrying about that with Shopify. It's going to be a little bit harder with a Blogger blog to do like email collection and contact pages, but there are a lot of like widgets and things like that, and I'll show you guys kind of what like a widget is in a second, but there are a lot of widgets and things. You can pretty much, with a little bit of research, make a Blogger blog do anything you want to do. I'm trying to think, like, what should we start with? So I guess kind of let's start with the layout. And this is what this blog looks like. So what do we got? We got the header banner here. We got sign up for my email list here. We got kind of a menu bar, which is like how to use the site, storage auctions in the media, and we got all the 50 states listed, because I would post storage auctions for 50 states. And then here I wound up plugging in like some ads. We got like a search bar for the blog. Yeah, I think I'm advertising some like Glendon Cameron programs or something like that. Now keep in mind, this is a pretty ugly one. I'm not quite ready to show you guys kind of the main project yet, just because I want to get it off the ground a little bit more. I think I want to get a little bit more active on social media, maybe roll out a YouTube channel to go along with it, and possibly upgrade to a WordPress site, because this does look like something that could be somewhat profitable. Like, I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but like, why the hell would you want to start a Blogger blog, right? Like, what's the purpose of it? I have a Shopify store. I have a YouTube channel. Why do I need a Blogger blog? You can see I'm driving a decent amount of traffic through this Blogger blog. So let's say I had a Shopify site that sold what my blog was about. I can kind of create content on the Blogger blog that doesn't necessarily look like it's coming from the store owner. It doesn't have to be as polished or as professional, and I can direct that traffic back to that Shopify blog. A lot of people will do what's called PBNs, or private blog networks, which is like creating a bunch of blogs. Sorry guys, has happened so often, the battery's dying, so I'm having to move across the room as I'm talking here. A lot of people create like private blog networks. Anybody who's kind of smart with SEO may bring up like, oh, well, that can get you penalized and things like that. That is kind of true if you abuse it. But you can start to create kind of like networks of sites, and then kind of link back to whatever your, what people call a money site is. So if I had a site that sold lists of storage auctions, I could create a bunch of free blogger sites about storage auctions, and kind of link back and forth between all of them, and then link to the money site and try to drive traffic to the money site. I mean, I'm getting kind of a little bit off subject here, but you guys can kind of see what this layout's here, right? Layout is here like. So navigation bar, back in the day, you may remember this, Blogger blogs used to have this navigation. If you click next blog, you go around and hop between blogs. You can turn this off, so I've got mine turned off. You can have a custom favicon. I don't think I have one uploaded there. My header, I just uploaded an image. I think it's like, I don't know, 1280 by 300 or something like that. If you would just want to have text, you can have text. There's kind of the blog title, blog description. And they used to have more widgets and gadgets. I think they've taken away a lot of them. There used to be a tab where you could look at, all the different ones. But, we can add Wikipedia stuff, contact forms. We can add a list. We can add a logo, follow me by email. We can post some of our favorite blogs or highlight a blog. We can feature popular posts on the sidebar. And you can set up, a lot of people think a Blogger blog is just a blog. You can set up pages just like on a regular blog. So you could have an About Us page, a contact page. You can have a navigation bar at the top with links to all these pages. Like to put in ads, a lot of times what I'll do to plug in an ad, I'll just grab the image that, I'll create like a 300 by 250, like essentially create my own banner ad. and then just plug in, you know, an Amazon affiliate link or whatever other affiliate link to where I want it to go. And that's going to show up on the sidebar just like this. There's all different layouts. If we go to... Maybe we got to go to theme. If we go to theme and we customize the theme, we could put a background image in here. So if we wanted to have like the whole background of the blog was like a picture of a storage unit, we could upload one. We can adjust the width, and what's kind of cool about this, you can see the changes happening in real time here. If I wanted to make the left sidebar bigger, you see it getting bigger. I can make it smaller. And then layout. You know, I kind of got the skyscraper ad on the left, the text in the middle, and you know, then some areas for widgets and things on the side. You can go with all these layouts. You could have just a straight full-page blog. You could do just a skyscraper on the right, just you know, all your content on the body on the left, the items on the right. You can, you know, customize your footer. I used to always use this one with the body of the content on the center and a left sidebar and a right sidebar, and that's what I made my first e-commerce website with. But I also used to make a lot of affiliate marketing sites with this as well. But yeah, that's kind of what the back end looks like. Posting, you know, you got drafts, publish. If I wanted to make a new post, you know, we can write our title here. We can write our body. If you want to hyperlink something, you can highlight it. You don't hyperlink it if you want to hyperlink to affiliate products or whatever. You can insert photos, YouTube videos. You know, you got your full text editor, bold, bullet points, everything else. We can label and kind of organize our content, which is what you see on the left sidebar right there. We can schedule posts to come out in the future. So, you know, I want this to come out tomorrow at 4:10. You can edit the permalink for SEO purposes. You know, so if I wanted to customize this, I could put the location of my post. We can write a little description, so we can write custom meta descriptions here. I don't know if they allow you to do custom meta titles. I think just your regular title shows up with the meta title. We got a few other options as far as letting people comment and such. Let's see. You can hook up your AdWords, and here's one of the kind of the cool things about AdWords, right? You can hook up your AdWords, and it's, you know, they have icons where you don't even need to mess with the code or log into AdWords. You can just automatically put AdWords blocks in here. I don't have pages created, but you can create pages. I think at one time I started making a forum. Yeah, you can have a forum run right on your blog or website. We looked at the layout. There's a lot of different themes that you can kind of choose from, and you can kind of see some of the different ones. There are some kind of more modern ones. You know, there's some that are kind of more for travel blogs or photo blogs. There's some kind of like magazine layout ones. They've actually been rolling out some more here lately. And then lastly, settings. So you can set your blog title, blog description, if you want it to be indexed by search engines. You know, that's my blog address, freestorageauctionlist.blogspot.com. We could change that. You can buy a domain from them, or you can just forward your GoDaddy domain. Let's see, post comments. And you can kind of get in here and do a little bit of stuff as far as like search preferences. You can mess with like the custom robots text, Google Search Console, and all that type of stuff. Let's see, what do we got here? Other. But yeah, you know, I mean, this can do most of what WordPress is. It is a little bit more of a basic platform, but I guess kind of the main point of this, I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent here, but kind of the main point of this video, I just wanted to kind of talk about, like, do blogger.blogspot blogs still work in 2019? Like, a lot of people think this is, like, you know, from the early 2000s. Like, can you still drive traffic with this? Can you still make money with this? And I just kind of started this just because kind of a fun little side project. I'm sending some of the traffic and kind of backlinking to another e-commerce project that I'm working on. But you know, I've been kind of pleasantly surprised how well it's been at ranking in Google, how well it's done driving traffic. And then as far as monetizing, I haven't found a ton of great affiliate programs. Well, it's kind of frustrating. Like, there's so many individual affiliate programs that I'm having to run around and create an affiliate program for like every product that I'm wanting to write about. So I have been doing some stuff through Amazon Associates, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think in the past 3 weeks I've made like $12 off of this particular blog. I did find another good affiliate program, but it's through CJ.com or Commission Junction, and it's like a pain in the ass, like using their deep linking feature. So I could probably do more in the way of affiliate revenue or whatever, but I thought for 3 weeks in, for the amount of traffic we're driving, for the amount of clicks that we're getting through to affiliate programs and things like that, and for the backlinks that I'm able to create for other projects, I think Blogger is kind of a fun little platform to goof around with. So, let me know if you guys want to see more content or some more like tutorial type stuff on Blogger, what it is, how to use it, different layouts. Drop a comment down below and let me know. I'd be happy to. I kind of like Blogger. I'd be happy to make some more content on this. But again, kind of the major thing was just like if you've been sitting on the sidelines, you're overwhelmed by WordPress or Squarespace, or you don't want to use Wix for whatever reason, feel free to give Blogger a try, if for nothing else, for vetting new ideas before you decide to, buy a domain and buy a WordPress theme and really kind of commit to a project. So I guess that's all I really got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, click that subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you in the next video, guys. Later.